Here's the 49. I don't care what, everybody wants to say best player available, whatever else. That's not the way in which the 49ers draft early. It's very, very simple. They go after need with their early picks. What do we need help at? Then day 3, they go best player available. They have done this every single year that
Every
they have
single.
been here. So, Scott, I like the comment. Really appreciate the contribution. And you're probably right. Wherever the 49ers see their biggest need, that's where they're going early. Yeah, they might be one of those guys that's like, look, we're going DT or edge early no matter what. It's what we value. It's what we need. And then best player available day 3. You're talking 5th, 6th rounders. Those things. So
Mhm.
you kind of agree with that? Would you be upset if they took a DT early, no matter what?
Um, it depends on the defensive tackle who's there. So we have to figure out free agency because if the 49ers sign a defensive tackle in free
Which comes
agency,
before the draft.
which comes before the draft, then they won't draft. They're gonna go need again. So what do they need? There's your safety. That safety might come into play, right? Because they're gonna sign one of those key players. It's either going to be your safety, it's either going to be your defensive tackle. So we gotta kind of wait. Could be an edge. We don't know. So it's going to be one of those guys. But then you got to look at the draft class and you got to say, all right, man, how many defensive tackles that we know that can fit us that are going to be around later? So we might do draft a defensive tackle early. I feel like we need a defensive tackle. I don't think this is the draft unless you're in that first or second round to get one of those amazing stud defensive tackles. You'll be drafting like not a project player, but a
What
player.
about your boy Mike Morris from Michigan?
I like Mike Morris, and I think he's gone in the second round. Like, like, where do you have him going in the third?
I'm looking at the mock draftable database, which kind of averages all of them together. Really cool site, free site, mock draftable database. Their
Mhm.
big board, he's 99, which is where the
Right
49ers
where we
just played.
pick.
So his peak is 59, his average is 99. So
Yeah.
again, you're right. Back into the second round could fall to the third round.
I just feel like someone's gonna reach, they're gonna get it, they're gonna get them, and then so you got to pay attention to what's falling. Like when I go back to that 2000 and what 20 draft, and I'm saying to myself, we needed a defensive tackle because we just trade. Here's the swap: we traded DeForest
Buckner.
Buckner, right, and now we're picking at 14. So you knew we were drafting the defensive tackle. I guarantee you if I had a chance to talk to John Lynch and ask him one question, I don't think he would answer it. He would be like, what was the saying that he would say? What was the saying that I said? Whatever one of them sayings on that card. But I guarantee you, like, my question would simply be in that 2020 draft, who is your top defensive tackle? And I bet you $100 he'll say Derek Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I love Derek Brown. He's been the better pro, but even he took his first 3 years weren't good.
They weren't,
Um,
but
they
he
weren't
he
good,
he
but
he
he
came
last year was
came
incredible.
into his own exactly. But you know, I look at that draft. Only two.
First 2 years were bad. Last year was great. Sorry.
There were only two defensive tackles that were drafted in the first round. It's Derek Brown. It's Javon Kinlaw.
And nobody was good afterwards. Like literally
John,
no other tackle that was I
not
was really high on Jordan Elliott, I think is his
none
name.
of them, John. Like
None of
I
them were
don't
good.
even know if they're still in the league.
It was bad. It was one of the worst defensive tackle classes ever.
See what I'm
Um,
saying?
yeah.
So and if you want to know where do the 49ers like to draft, if you want to know type of players that they're scouting, you got to pay attention to the Senior Bowl players. This list is super important. Okay. Now you remember when they first started, they were the coaches. Kyle Shanahan was the coach of the Senior Bowl. He got hands-on Debo Samuel and players like that. Like he knew who he was going to get from their gameplay. You want to know why Javon Kinlaw was drafted Senior Bowl?
Yeah.
Like
He
that's
came
it.
down there and just wrecked shop.
Wrecked shop.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.